producing something. And you know, the outcomes we're receiving right now is the product of what we're doing. So if you want a different outcome, you have to plan for a different way to produce it. Traffic. 25 miles an hour. It's a 50 mile an hour zone. So, anyway, yeah. Plans versus goals. Goals versus plans. If you don't plan ahead, you may achieve. It requires more work, usually. There's some people in life who are just inherently lucky, but I'm willing to bet it only looks that way on the outside. I bet they have positioned themselves so that they can achieve success. And that's part of planning, is positioning yourself to have the best results. And not all plans are conscious. And not every detail of everything needs to be planned out. That's another good point. You know, the goal is to go to real estate school. You know that there are certain things that you must do to make that happen. The goal is to be a realtor. So there are certain things you must do to make that happen. But at some point, life comes into play, and there are things that are outside of your control that become part of all of this. And I think that's where the spontaneity and flexibility comes in. You know, I hear people who say not to have a plan B. And I hear people who say having plan B is extremely important. I fall somewhere in the middle. For me, the not to have plan B is not to have a different goal, backup goal. It's not about not having a plan about how to get to that goal. Having a backup plan about how to get to that goal makes sense, because everything you're doing won't always work perfectly. So if something isn't working, at some point it's time to abandon it. If you're so rigid that all you do is pay attention to that, so rigid and so focused on that one outcome, if that one outcome isn't going to happen, you have to let it go and move on to a different way of doing it. There's some things that you can't do that. If you want to be a doctor, you have no choice but to get through medical school and pass their licensing exam. If you want to be an attorney, there's no choice but to pass the bar. Attorneys are an interesting example. Is you don't necessarily have to go to law school if you want to be an attorney. There are a couple states that allow for a different type of program, like Vermont allows for an apprenticeship program to be an attorney. So there are some ways to do things if you look hard enough. But sometimes there aren't. Sometimes there's only one way to get through it. So you have to, define your goal and then write your instructions, write your plan. Now, I don't mean you have to literally write it out, but you have to know it. And you have to be able to implement it. And one of the ways I was taught how to do that is you figure out each step in your plan, and then you figure out what it is you need to get that step completed. And I had a great person ask me one day, what 3 things are you willing to give up to reach that goal? and I need to do this, so I'm going to give up these 3 things. Well, there's a 4th thing. Well, okay, then I'll give up 3 things to make that 4th thing happen. And you can figure anything out if you put forward the effort. We limit ourselves for no real reason. We just get wrapped up in the self-talk of, I can't. Why can someone else and you can't? You know, there are handicapped people out there that just amaze me. There's people who can't walk who race motorcycles. They figure out how to live their passion. They figure out how to achieve their goals. But a lot of us don't. I can't do it, and we limit ourselves.